Okay guys, today I'm out here on the new bike I bought about a week ago. I put 300 kilometres on it to date, and it's a 2017 Triumph Bonnyville. And you don't know much about these Bonnevilles. They're like a 215 kilo bike. They run an 18-inch front wheel, 17-inch back, and you know, fairly expensive to buy when you're buying brand new, although this one wasn't that cheap either. And they put out roughly about 54 brake horsepower and 80 newton meters of torque. So as far as that one goes, they really can get into it. I've got it set up to run a camera on it at the moment, and that bit of blue lead was the only bit of rope I could find just in case my small camera fell off the tank, and rather than get it rode off, it'll still be hopefully salvageable. So overall, like I said, this is a one owner bike, and he never rode it much over the 8 years he had it. And you know, he decided he'd cash it. I went and had a look at it. To me it looked pretty good, and it rides all right. At the same time, before I bought this bike, I was thinking of buying an Interceptor, but at this stage I've already owned two new Interceptors, and I thought, oh well, I might go into the Triumph one, give it a bit of a run, because I had one about 8 years ago too, in a Triumph Street Scrambler, which has got the same motor, but believe it or not, this one here performs a lot better than when I had the Scrambler. I think they've got a different state of tune on it, and this one, as you can see earlier on up there, like when you get behind it, it lays down the power a bit. Now I've got to keep to this angle for a short period because the wind's blowing fairly hard behind me, and therefore you just get wind whistle running through the mics. So if you ask me what I think and how it goes goes pretty well. Like, it's got some get up and go behind it in those second, third, and even when you come into fourth gear. Doesn't sort of get going until around about 3,000 revs, but once you get on to 3,000 revs and give it to it, well, you know, it performs pretty good. It also comes with dual channel ABS and traction control, but no rider modes on this one. Now I did think about the T120, but I was thinking, you know, the additional weight, like this one at 215 and the other one's probably another 15 to 20 kilos heavier, and I don't know if it'd be any benefit to me. And this one here with a 790mm seat height, I can get on it and off it with no drama whatsoever, and today I'm only just in running shoes, so no drama that way. And you know, the seat itself is pretty comfortable. It's not bad to look through the mirrors. Like they could go a little bit before they hit your arms a bit, like Envision side, but you know, overall I can still adjust them to see what's coming behind me. And more importantly, with this particular bike, compared to what I'm used to, 20 horsepower machines lately, this one here pulls the hills, no trouble around here whatsoever. One thing I don't really like about it, and you might notice it here, look at the sun when it hits the instrumentation and it gets that much glare in it, you'll have actual trouble seeing what speed you're going, because the numbers on the speedo are light, and once it hits it, you know, you would have thought over a period of time they may have improved it, not sure. So but I find that highly annoying when you're going along, because if you see it here now, that's what you're getting, and you're looking down, it just go no idea sort of what speed you're going at. But overall, this is a very good condition bike. It's it's totally stock standard, apart from the put a trickle charger on it. So we'll go around this way and see if I can pick up anything for you. But overall, I think this is the first of their water-cooled ones, 2017, and you know, it's a nice smooth motor, no jerkiness in the throttle, nice looking black in the tank, you know, nice colour, no troubles there. Very little vibration runs through the bars and the foot pegs. I did notice a little bit, but you know, that's something I always look out for, and I did notice it was a little bit in that one. Like I said, I've done about 300 kilometres, and it's like 3,700 when I bought it, just sitting on 4,000 clicks now. Though it hasn't done really a great deal of work considering it's 8 years old. And I don't know, I suppose I'm sort of, I didn't go much on the black paint job on it when I first got it, but I think after I've had it now a while, it's sort of starting to grow on me a bit better than what it did to start with. I mean, when you look at the profile of it sitting there now, it's got the gloss black tank side covers, front and rear guard. The only matte black is really the motor and exhaust and the chain guard. So, you know, if you look at it that way, it isn't too bad there. Yes, overall, at this stage, you know, only early, but like I said, I had planned on thinking about buying a new Interceptor, but, you know, they haven't done much improvement to the Interceptor since I bought the 2019 and then the 2021 or 20, something like that. First one I had was a ravishing red, so Interceptor guy said no, that particular bike. And the second one I had was full chrome version. So, you know, I don't think they've done much to them like they've done not a great deal to these. I think the new version in this one is virtually the same, except it puts out 64 horsepower and it's got a little bit more go up in the top end, where this has got its go down in lower scale, you know. And, you know, it does really take off. It can slip or get you sliding along the seat a bit if you get behind it in those lower gears. Like I experienced that back there where I just give it a bit of a hit along there. So overall, you know, not a bad bike. Like I said, early stages yet. I don't know what's going to happen or what's going to come in the future. All I know is, you know, I was talking about buying a Honda CB125F, and I put it to the wife, and the wife ended up throwing it to the daughters, and they said, you know, I've got a birthday coming up later on this month, and they'll just buy me that one for birthday. So, you know, that is the bike I'll be concentrating on shortly, to go out and ride the hills around here and, you know, give the drones a bit of workout and stuff like that. But in the meantime, I just thought some people might like to hear my thoughts on this Triumph. If you put the word on me now, is this a better bike than a Interceptor? I would probably say no. But then again, I haven't ridden a new 25 model one of these. They might be a bit better, but I do find these are a little bit heavy in the steering. You know, especially when you're going around the corners, you can feel the weight in the front there. And as far as sitting on and riding it goes, really easy bike to ride. Like I said, 790mm seat height and no trouble at all sitting on it. And, you know, you'd think if you went up to a 900, for example, from a 300, you'd notice a great deal of difference. But no, this is really well put together in that line. And, you know, I think it's a good bike. In my case, it's a good bike for something to play around with at a time and just see what happens in that line. And because, you know, we all know I'm not madly in love with bikes. I just buy them and then go out and ride them and have a bit of fun and then yell out next. But that bit aside, I am hoping to get out with the CB125F and really do a bit more riding on that one, because when I had it the first time I really enjoyed it. It's very easy to handle and ride around, so there's no trouble whatsoever. Wind's coming in heavy now, and you know, since I had the incident with the CF Motor 450 and dropped it and it fell in the water, well, couldn't get the bike up, and it laid in the water for a couple of hours while I walked my way out, and only a bloke come along. I would have been, it was getting on dark, only a guy come along after maybe 2 hours of walking. I would not have been able to get home. Yeah, I would be surprised I would have got home that night, because there was just no traffic along the road, only the one guy. And after I dropped that bike in the water, well, the party was over for it, because I knew sooner or later that it'd cause me trouble. And I actually thought when I had that bike, it was possibly the best bike I've been on. Hard to believe, but it was a really, really good bike. But as you get older, your core strength or muscle strength drops. And when that was laying in there, when I dropped it in the creek there, and it was sitting there for so long, couldn't get the bloody thing up. I had no phone reception, no nothing at all. I was out in this shitty place called, what they call around here, Long Point, which has only got a few houses on there, on the road, and they're mainly a holiday house, and nobody lives in them, or probably at weekends or weekenders. I had no choice but walk, and one day, or when I get the CB125F, I'm going to go back to that same creek. And in fact, I might throw up a photo. Here's the bike now, laying in the creek. And then I'll see how far I walked in that couple of hours, but I tell you what, wouldn't want to have been 30 degrees. I don't think I would have made it out of there, because I only had a small bottle of water on me at the time, and it wasn't really hot that day, probably about 16, 18 degrees. And I would say I was slightly concerned about it. So as far as that goes, the guy who pulled my bike out of the water, he was working on a property on one of the hills, I think, putting in a fence or something, and then looked down and seen this blue flash in the water, like in the creek far below, like it would have been a kilometre away, but the bike stood out well in the water. And he looked there, and he said a couple of hours later, when he was ready to knock, the bike, or whatever it was still laying in the water. So we went down and had a look. He wasn't all that old, probably about 40. He had apparently no trouble lifting the bike and pushing it out where I was stuck, and pulled it out for me, and then went back up along the road, bumped up to be walking along, and said, "I'll pull your bike out of the water, do you want to go back and pick it up?" And I said, "Yeah, thanks." So I offered him a few dollars for his trouble on the way back, but no, not a bad bloke. He said, "No, it's right, I don't mind helping you in that line." So after that incident, I thought it over, and I thought, that bike is not for me, because that was probably a pre-warning for me. And if I went out along them dirt roads once and you went down, and for example a bike was caught on you, you'd be in deep shit after that. So that bit aside, you've had a bit of a look at this, not Enfield, this Triumph now. And once again, I'll see if I can get a sweep around it, and you can have a look at that side. Don't know how this camera will go. This is a bit different camera that I'm using, but overall it's a nice glossy black, and I prefer a glossy black to a matte black. Oh yeah, back to what we were talking about. In the CB 12500Fs, while I've got your attention, if you're still listening, they only had those in a really shitty browny red, which I didn't like at all. A white one like I had 2 years ago, or believe it or not, a black one. So I had to go for a black one, and the reason I went for a black one, if I do get sick of it with a CB 125F, I'll just paint it any colour I want. So that was the idea of that, and it'll give me another project further down the track if I want to do it. And that's something that we can look at a later date. But I'm looking forward to getting out there on the CB 125F, because they only weigh 110 kilos and really easy bike to throw around. So that's it for me today, and I will catch up with you on a later clip.